Hey you guys, Marlyn with Beautiful Bina Designs, back with another card share. Today I'll be sharing 10 cards I made using the June 2018 My Monthly Hero card kit. This month was Sea and Sky, and it was a fantastic kit. It was a lot of fun to work with. So I do have 10 cards I'm going to be sharing with you, but before I launch into that, I did want to remind you guys that I have an open giveaway as of today, which is June 21st, 2018. The giveaway is ongoing. I am going to be giving away a Concord and 9th brand new stamp set, and I previously posted a video in which I explain the ways that you can earn up to 3 different entries. If you are interested in checking that out and entering the giveaway, you can find a link to that original video below in the description. I'll make sure to post that there. Getting back to this kit, I added a few elements to this kit. I always, or pretty much always, add things like embossing powders and inks and cardstocks. But this month I wanted to highlight a few things that I used on multiple cards, which you might be interested in learning more about. So I found this Ahoy There 6x6 paper pad. It's by Cartabella. I found it at Tuesday Morning for $2.99. And I knew that this was before I received my monthly hero kit for this month, but I knew that it was going to have the sea theme. They had already done some of the sneak peeks, possibly even the reveal. I came across this in Tuesday Morning and I thought it might come in handy. So I picked that up. There are a lot of great papers in here. Also, another little paper pad. I featured this one in a previous video, and it actually was the first card I made using this kit. This is Miss Sparkle & Co. Papery paper pad. This is a neutral wood grain. Some really nice papers in here. They're all the same, just different colors. And I thought this went really nicely with the sea theme as well. So I used this on a couple of my cards. And then finally, for some of my card bases, I typically use the Nina Solar White 110 pound for pretty much all of my card bases. But I also found this at Tuesday Morning. It's a Basil Diamond paper, and I don't know, that's what they call it, diamond. I don't know how well you can see this, and in fact when I get too close I guess I kind of block the light, but it is it's got a shimmer to it and a texture, so it's kind of a white brilliance. Sort of like what you get with a Wink of Stella or something like that. Just the littlest bit of shimmer and shine. And I really liked this. So I used this for some of my card bases this month. Moving forward with the card share, sympathy cards are probably my least favorite type of card to make, but I did make 2 this month. Unfortunately, we need them sometimes, so I thought I would use the With Sympathy stamp that came with this kit and create a couple for my stash. They're both similar. On this one, I used that Basil Diamond cardstock that I just shared with you, and then some of the birds and cloud stamps, that With Sympathy sentiment, and I matted that a little bit on some smoky gray paper with a few White Blizzard. I couldn't think of the color. White Blizzard Nouveau glitter drops. Secondly, similar in design, similar materials used, but this time a light blue cardstock, which I popped up a little bit using Fun Foam, and then I used the gray ink, the soft granite that came with this kit, for the With Sympathy sentiment and those birds. I used on both of these cards my Unicorn Pigment ink by Hero Arts for the clouds, or as all of my white ink actually. Next, moving a little bit more into the fun cards now. Here's Greetings from My Happy Place, and this background is created using that Seafoam shimmer spray that came with the kit. I really liked the background stamp that was an add-on for this kit. It had kind of the waves in it, but I elected not to buy it because I already had this Hero Arts wave stamp. This one is called Waves background. And so I used this on several of the cards I'll be sharing today, including, and maybe I'll just leave that right there for now, kind of creating a glare. Including this one, this craft cardstock. I used that Waves background stamp, embossed that with clear embossing powder, and then added the other elements on top of it. So you can see I used one of the puffy stickers. I used a couple of sheets of paper from that Cartabella paper pack, and some of the starfish here, and I love those chairs. I used the 4 chairs. Greetings from my happy place, card number 3. Card number 4, I couldn't resist this mermaid. It's such a cute stamp and die. I used on the background here only layer 3 of the water layer stamps. I used the boulder and a couple of clouds. I embossed that with a pearl embossing powder, used the See You Soon sentiment with a unicorn pigment ink, once again that Hero Arts pigment ink, some iridescent sequins. On this light blue cardstock, once again I used the Waves background stamp, and that is then embossed with a clear embossing powder. I put that on a navy panel and then onto my Nina 110-pound cardstock for the card base. Simple, but I think elegant. Next, we have another Greetings from my happy place. Used another of those puffy stickers, and here we have the die cut heart. So this was an instance where I took the one panel and was able to get 2 cards out of it. I used that dolphin stamp. Dolphin and a mermaid are using I believe it's called lapis pearl. It is a navy pearl embossing powder. So to give those some shimmer and just bring a little bit more interest to those cards, I used that navy shimmer embossing powder. I think it came out really nice. Next, we have Enjoy the Beach Life. This is probably one of my favorites because, again, I just can't get enough of these chairs. I think they're super cute. Once again, I used this background stamp. There is that navy pearl embossing powder, again, making an appearance. And then some vellum Enjoy the Beach Life. I've got several of the chairs, a couple of the beach balls. Some are popped up, some are adhered directly to the card panel. Next, we have this beach scene where I used the Hello stamp and that sand embossing powder. Sand embossing powder is just awesome. I love it. It's so fun to use and it gives you such a neat look. This paper, the white and red stripes, that gave me kind of like the beach ball, maybe a beach umbrella feel. Once again, that's from that Cartabella paper pad. And then we have craft with this wave stamp again. I really liked the look of it. It was, if I used the clear embossing powder, it was very subtle. Here I used a white embossing powder, so I was able to get a lot of different looks. It gives a great texture, and I think it brought a lot to the cards. So I definitely did use it several times throughout this series of cards. But that is then adhered directly to my Nina 110-pound card base. I used my, here for the blue, I used the inks that came with the kit, and for the brown sand look, I used Distress ink in Vintage Photo. I popped up some of those elements to give it a little bit more interest. Here is the only card I made, which is that more typical beach scene. But this one, I wanted to do, a lot of people I saw were doing very similar beach scenes, and it made a lot of sense. They were beautiful cards, but I really wanted to do some different things. So for this one, I thought I would make a beach scene, but I tried to make it an evening beach scene. So this is my nighttime Life is Better with Sandy Feet, with a couple of those sand embossed, sort of looking like wet footprints in the sand. On top of the waves here, I used some Hero Arts white puff embossing powder. So I put that 3rd layer stamp down, went over that with the white puff, and then I used my Emboss It pen and created some white foam with that white puff embossing powder right along the shoreline, and I really like the interest that that brought to the card. This one, I once again used that Basil Diamond cardstock as my card base. Here we have another evening card. This is, once again, using that white puff embossing powder, and I used for this one the second layer stamp only for that water look. The navy blue cardstock is stamped once again with this waves background stamp, and then that is embossed using the pearl, the clear pearl embossing powder. And I thought this mermaid kind of looking up just gave me a very thoughtful feeling, and so I used that thinking of you sentiment and once again some of those iridescent sequins. I also, just for a little bit of an added fun touch, I created a matching envelope for that card. I don't typically share my envelopes, but every once in a while I do like to create matching envelopes for a little bit more fun when the recipient opens their mailbox. And finally, my 10th card to share with you today is a window shaker card. And for this one, greetings from my happy place. I used all 3 of the stamps across a white piece of cardstock, cut this out, used a piece of seashell pattern paper from that Cartabella Ahoy There paper pad I shared earlier. And inside this popped up shaker window, I included some of the sand embossing powder. I just poured a little bit in there to make it look like actual sand. But the reason I really like this card and what makes it super fun to me, almost 12 years ago now, my husband and I got married on the beach, and I gathered and saved some shells from our wedding. And these 3 shells that I put in here are actually shells from our wedding. So I'm not going to be giving this card away. This one I'm going to keep. I think I might hang it up in my craft room for some inspiration and just because it makes me smile. So you guys, thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Here are the 10 cards that I shared in this video. I will add some photos as well. I hope that you enjoyed the cards, and as always, I hope that I have been able to inspire you to make beautiful things. If you have any questions about products, process, or anything at all really, drop me a comment below. I always respond to my comments. I'll get back to you quickly. And once again, that giveaway is open, and I'll include a link to that video below as well. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.